Alrighty, what is going on, guys? As you can see, it is a change of scenery. I'm back home for spring break, so what better way to spend my time to educate you guys and enlighten you on some free game. And today the free game is going to be how to rapidly grow your chest. Here are my credentials. If I look over to the left, it's because I have OBS on my second monitor and my webcam crashes like 90% of the time. So that is annoying, but gonna make sure it doesn't crash so I can do this in pretty much one take. So essentially, again, like I said, the video is how to rapidly grow your chest. My credentials are right here. On the left image, I think I was about 16 years old. I don't even know how much, maybe 160 at like 6'2". And then on the right, I'm 6'4", like 225-ish. And 20 years old. As you can see, there's definitely been some growth, especially in the fillness. I've completely filled out my frame. No, actually, I haven't completely filled out my frame. I'm more closer to filling out my frame than I was like those years ago when I was 16. But anyways, let's get right into it. So we're going to talk about the different regions of the chest. So clavicular, he's chilling right there at the top. The clavicular region is the upper portion of the pec. So I don't know if, let's see if, hold on, wait, let me. Okay, so I'm looking at the second monitor right here. This upper portion runs like that. Okay. I look really white in this. I'm like a ghost. But anyways, yeah, that's the upper portion. Its main function is shoulder flexion. So like this, it's just basically raising your arm. Like I said, just like this, it's the top portion of the chest. So a low to high would even work to hit this effectively. I'm going to talk more about what you could do to hit the clavicular head effectively. But and it's like basically like this motion, essentially forward and in front of your body, and it's the only part of the chest that contributes to this, that contributes to shoulder flexion, like the sternocostal regions, which are the two regions below the clavicular head, do not contribute to it. I'll talk more on that in the next slide, but basically anything with your arm path tucked, so that could be an inclined Smith where you're like this. Let me hold on. I don't mind the chair, it's super squeaky, but like this. Your arm path's tucked, relatively tucked. I like to keep it like 30 degrees. A low to high fly like this, stable variant. Anything stable where your arm is fixed in that like shoulder flexion position, that's perfect. But I have an example right here. Let's turn off the volume. I don't know what's gonna play. We'll have to wait for it to play. Okay, Wi-Fi, there we go. See here, you can see keeping arms about 30 degrees, not flared out. I mean, a little bit flared, but nothing crazy. So there's my boy popping in, but yeah, that's basically how to hit the clavicular head and bias it. Just keeping your arm tucked for pure shoulder flexion. Now the sternocostal region, this region of the chest is the lower portion, not the, this is the clavicular head up here. I don't think you guys can see my cursor, but it's these lower regions where it's running like horizontally, not exactly on like a slope or like a upward trend of a line. It's horizontal throughout the chest. And the sternocostal region, its main function is horizontal adduction, so that is like this. Again, the clavicular head was like this. It's like this. So horizontal adduction, this is very simple. It could be a flat press, so your arms flared, or even a fly where it's like a pec deck, basic, keeping your arms in that horizontal adducted position. Here's my example. It's just basically a pec deck. This pec deck is the heaviest pec deck anybody will ever use. It is the Body Masters one. I'd be surprised if people could stack it. I've stacked it once. It's 300 pounds, but it is a single pulley and it is titanium. So good luck trying to stack that. Yeah, basically pretty simple, just keeping it pure horizontal adduction. So this is training frequency and exercise sequencing. So if you want to grow your chest at the fastest rate possible, this is very important. So personally, the chest has always been a weak point of mine, and training it frequently 2 to 3 times a week. Also, let me know if you guys want me to do a how I brought up my weak points video. That would be something I'm looking into doing in the future. But train it 2 to 3 times a week. Again, we want to have that 2 to 3x frequency. 3x, I believe, is better if you can recover from it. And start with it first in your session. That is the exercise sequencing. And the reason why you want to do this is because you want to maximize the motor unit recruitment. As you can see, this is an example of an upper log that I posted in my Discord. Tap in, the link is in the description. But this is an example. As you can see, I always start with my first 2 chest movements, which is just an incline for the clavicular head and then a pec deck for the sternocostal region. And then training with more frequency will allow you to progress at a faster rate if you're doing something more often. That's why powerlifters bench like 8 times a week. Just kidding, but they bench like 4 times a week. Squat 4 times a week. It's because they're trying to progress and manage fatigue to have the highest numbers possible, and that will allow you to progress faster if you train it more frequently. And obviously do it within reason. You don't want to be going drop sets ballistic, but like 0 to 1 RIR. And for movements, just pick stable movements and progress. Do what you enjoy, because doing what you enjoy maximizes motor unit recruitment. It's a study. If you are not enjoying an exercise, if you're not enjoying doing a shin guarded low to high fly with the cuff at your elbow, even though it's the most optimal or whatever people say, it's not going to be enjoyable. It's not going to produce the most motor units, as opposed to if you liked an incline Smith with your arms tucked, it's going to produce more motor units because you're actually more motivated to be doing the exercise rather than just doing it because it's optimal and hating it. So now we need to understand genetics. So this is a big one. Many influencers that people don't understand this towards the beginning of lifting. Like I didn't. I thought I could get a chest like Alex Eubank. I can't. I don't have the insertions. I don't have the muscle bellies. Alex Eubank has a God-given chest. Very, very blessed with his chest genetics. It is literally like the most full chest I've ever seen. Or even Arnold had a very full chest. We do not want to idolize these people. Again, don't idolize anybody, because it's just you versus the man in the mirror. Maximize your potential. We do not want to maximize someone else's potential, so don't get discouraged. Keep working towards your own goals and knowing what's attainable for yourself. You could always improve upon yourself. Don't look at others and judge your physique off them, because everybody has different genetics and different circumstances. So progressive overload. This is actually a sick graph that Gemini made based off of all my logs. What I do is, if you didn't know, is I put my, I track it on an app called Rep Count, and then I put it into Gemini, and it makes a table, very organized, and then I post it to the Discord. So it's very efficient, and I told it to make a progression graph. So I'll talk about that in a second, but we want to start with it for maximum motor unit recruitment. I touched on that. And stick with the same movement for as long as possible, because we do not want to just get stuck in the cycle of neurologically adapting or picking a new movement, neurologically adapting, and then rapidly progressing. And then once that stops, once you stall after like 4 to 8 weeks, you pick a new movement, because that is when the 4 to 8 weeks wear off. That is when the real progression, like from here to here, happens. And I've been doing incline Smith for a while, so the progression is much slower than if I were to neurologically adapt, and especially because I'm currently in a deficit. I'm losing fat. I'm losing weight. My leverages are not as good, so I tend to lose some strength on pressing, but we're going to maintain it and do everything that we can. Again, I talked about that in the other video, how to get shredded, maximize carb intake before the gym. Not going to touch on that a lot here, but you do not need to progress every session, or even if you go down a rep in a session, it does not mean that your chest just withered away. Could have been so many circumstances. Like I went down a rep, and I'll talk about that there, and I'll tell you why. But I need to remind you guys the 4 pillars of progressive overload: more weight, more reps, better form, or faster concentric speed. Talked about that in my progressive overload video if you want to get more information. But anyways, this graph. So I started putting the full logs into Gemini February 15th. So this is from the start to March 17th, which is very recently. So as you can see, the incline Smith progression, we started with 255 pounds February, and now we are at 265 pounds for 4 reps. So that is a substantial increase. Again, the form is the exact same. 4 to 5 reps, but the reason I got 4 is because I used a different bench with a different angle, and I believe that messed me up, but I'm not going to make excuses. I'm typically in the 5 rep range for 265. And as you can see, it's an upward trend. That's all we want to see over time. Of course, from session to session, it could be, if you were to take like an introspective look at this graph, it could be like this. It's not going to be like this. Like if you're losing weight, it's never going to just be or if you're losing weight, it's never just going to be a downward slope. There's always going to be highs, influxes. Don't get demotivated from that. It's all part of the process. Progress is never linear. This is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Join the Discord if you have any more questions and in-depth questions. As you can see, I answer them here. It's like crickets right now, but I'm trying to promote this and get you guys involved in a science-based lifting community that takes the gym really seriously. So it's in the description. Again, I'll plug my codes, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I bucked up Longo 1 for 20% off on all apparel, all supplements, everything on the website. And then Gympin Longo lifts for 10% off. Gympins are clutch. Trust me, you'll need them once you get strong. And these videos will get you strong because I'm dropping free game for free. And then lastly, like I said, tap into the Discord. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. Join the Discord. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, let me know what video recommendation ideas you want to see next, like for these educational series. I'm thinking about doing a week 1, how to grow your back, and just other ones, how to grow each muscle effectively. So if you guys want to see that, just let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.